Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are now on live discussing the aftermath of the Nigeria election. So we are discussing matters arising. Yeah, you're welcome to the live video that we are doing on the aftermath of the Nigerian election. No doubt the election has brought a whole lot of baggages with itself, and is the most topical issue in the land today. A lot of grievances, not many people are rejoicing. Never have we had any election such as this that people are not jubilating as a result of the outcome of the election. So we are here to discuss that, the event that led to this, and how do we go forward from here. So feel free to join this live broadcast. You are the main people here that are going to discuss the future of our dear country, Nigeria. So I urge you to join. If you have anything to discuss, you raise up your hand. But don't forget, be very civil in your language. No hate speech. No abusive language. Do not denigrate anybody. Let us discuss as civilized people that we are. No doubt many of us have felt robbed, deprived, and cheated. Let's discuss these issues and other things, especially as we move forward, or as we consider what next after the election. So, here we go. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been declared winner of the presidential election of Nigeria that just concluded recently. A whole lot of people are aggrieved. In fact, the other two major political parties, the PDP and Labour Party, are seriously aggrieved, and they are threatening to go to war. To go to court to sue. Okay, so what are your thoughts about this? Going to court? What are your expectations? Judging from our antecedents, what do you expect will happen in court? There is no doubt that the man Peter Obi was seen as an underdog, as somebody who could not make anything happen. But Like that songwriter says in his popular line, they never see me coming. So they didn't actually see Obi coming this way. They've said all manners of denigrating words about him. He doesn't have structure. He doesn't have people around him. He's not capable of winning. But tell me, Ovi, so what do you think led to this kind of tsunami? What led to this kind of revolution? Because when we talk about revolution, it's not until you carry guns and ammunition before you cause a revolution to happen. This voting pattern that we just experienced in our recent election is nothing but revolution. So let's discuss this. Yeah. If you wanted to say anything, please, can I just... okay, let me see. Okay. Yeah. Let's see your comment. Who's coming on board? Let's see. Let's see. Who wants to go live with me? Who wants to go live with me? You want to make some contribution? You want to talk? Let's talk about the future of our country, because our country is at a precipice right now as we discuss. It's at a precipice. It's been pushed to the wall. The youth are angry. Yeah, they are. These are the youth that hitherto have been frustrated. Nothing was going for them. And now the only hope they have of rectifying, of righting all the wrongs, seem to have been dashed. They have the right to be angry. Yes, they have the right to be aggrieved. And a way of ventilating this grievance and this anger is what we're going to discuss today, so that it will not lead to further damage for our country. So, who is going live with me? Let's talk. Okay, Nigerians in general are tired. That's why the outburst of emotion. Okay, that's good. Nigerians are tired. That is why the emotion of... Oh, thank you, Sheyi. Exactly what I'm saying here. Nigerians are tired. The youth are frustrated. No job, no future. That is just it. There is no future. And that is why the word Jakpa had become the in thing now. Everybody wants to Jakpa. So when every able-bodied, intelligent people Jakpa from Nigeria, who will be there to build that country? And I don't blame any of them that wants to Jakpa, because it has got to a situation where if you don't have, even no matter how qualified you are, if you don't have a note or connection with any senator or house representative or minister or governor, nothing for you, no matter how brilliant you are. Yes, no job, no allowance, nothing. In fact, the government does not even know if you exist. It's such a terrible situation. It has led to so many people to brain drain out of that country. Doctors are brain draining, professors are brain draining, engineers are brain draining, lawyers are brain draining. Now, who is left in that country now that will be ready to build the country? Especially if they don't have anybody, I mean, if they don't have connection. This is the situation. So, all these have pent up in people. And it was in this fit of anger they went to the poll. Now, who will now blame them for not voting somebody some people expected them to vote? So this is the issue. Join us, let's talk. Let's talk about this. This is our country. Whether we like it or not, it is our country. Even those who have jacked by it. Even those, in diaspora, many of them are longing to come back home. But they want to have a home to come back to. They want to have a country to come back to. They want to come to a country they can be proud to say, this is my country. This is the issue right now. So, let's talk. Let's talk. Okay, let me, emotion have been like this for the past few days. Yeah, you are right. You're right. You're right. Okay, let's hear your comment. Let's hear your comment, please. Does anybody want to go live with me? Let's see. You're welcome. You're welcome. Abiodun, thank you for joining. Matt Tony, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Yeah. Make your comment, please. Make your comment. Let's see your comment. Remember, try and be civil with your comment. I know most people are aggrieved. That is just the truth. But even in that fit of anger, try to be civil in your comment and whatever you say. Remember, word, once it drops, it cannot be collected back again. So try and be civil, knowing fully well that you are here to provide solution to the problem, not to add to it. Okay? Let's see your comment. Who's there? Abiodun. Let me see. Yeah, you are welcome to today's broadcast. We are discussing the aftermath of the Nigerian election. The presidential election that was held on the 25th of February 2023, that has thrown up so many underdogs which people did not expect to win. Many of them have won. And Peter Obi is popularly believed to have won the election. But the popular views believe that he was robbed of that election. And there are so many videos showing irregularities, mind-boggling irregularities, such as we have never seen such graphic details of irregularities in our election. In fact, let me say, since I've been witnessing elections, both the one I analyzed on televisions as elections were going on, I had the privilege of having watched and analyzed elections in previous Nigerian exercise. Never in the history of our country have we seen these graphic details of how people rigged election, barefaced robbery. And yet, it was as if the INEC did not see all this, or did INEC actually see and deliberately gave the victory to another person? What transpired? What transpired? What transpired? Was it because the INEC was not competent? Or did INEC at one point or the other got, compromised? Okay. That after all, whoever is agreed can go to court. Should it be that way? Should it be that way? And what's the role of the President Buhari in all this, who had vowed to the people of Nigeria that, look, even if that was the only legacy he was going to leave behind, he will make sure that the elections are free and fair. Buhari, can you boast now? Can you beat your chest and say you are living that legacy now with the way things are going on? doesn't mean that you are not in control of the INEC, in spite of the humongous amount of money that you put on that exercise. Where did the money go? Or does it mean that Mahmoud, the chairman of INEC, was not capable of actually directing or modulating the activities of his men? Where did this thing come from? Is it from the top, or from behind, or from below? Who is at fault? Who is at fault? Is it that the people are so selfish that they don't even care whether they plunge Nigeria into civil war as a result of their actions? Who is to blame for this? Because in more civilized climes, such a thing will not go unpunished. Whoever is responsible for this. Now, let's look at it from this angle. Okay, the aggrieved can go to court, they can do this. The man hour, the money, and all the psychological trauma this will put people. Did they consider all this? Then it is sure that they never consider all these things. They just feel that anybody that is aggrieved can go to court. Does it mean that you cannot on your own be efficient unless you are goaded into it? What is happening here? What is happening here? Are we going to continue this way? Yeah, I know people are mediating, they are talking about the possibility of this, possibility of that. Where does that leave the youth who up till now are still yearning for good governance, whose hope has been dashed? Many who were contemplating to japa, that is to travel, to run away from the country, but who say, okay, well, let's just wait for for the outcome of this election, because one of the candidates, Peter Obi, holds some promises. Maybe his reign or his era will usher in a new Nigeria, whereby all of us will be able to participate in government and also have jobs after our education. So let me share my plan to run away for now, because I have hope in Peter Obi that he will do what he promised that he would do. Or maybe because we just think that, okay, Peter Obi, although a politician himself, but he has not really been engaged or engrossed in all the corruptions and all the terrible things that have dragged the country in the mud. Because of that, or maybe because of his antecedent, because of his pedigree, is likely to do better than the previous people. So let me share my plan. And all that plan now seems to be heading towards the rock. So Nigerians are agitating. Nigerians are unhappy. They are aggrieved. That is the truth. So what's the way forward? Make your comment. Let's see your comment. Let's see your view. But one way or the other, irrespective of who you voted for, or irrespective of who you think should be the winner or should be declared, you have a view. It is that view I want you to share with us now, so that we can meet minds and see how we can go forward from here. You are welcome to today's discuss with Professor Neblos. Tolani, I greet you. You're welcome. Lucky, thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. Please make your comment. Let's see how to move forward from this logjam. Yeah. We have to move forward. Countries that are smaller than Nigeria, they are making giant strides. They are all around us. Countries that are bigger than Nigeria, they are all making giant strides. Countries that do not even have mineral resources, 1/4 of what Nigeria has, they are all making giant strides. What is wrong with our country that we cannot move forward? What is the issue with us? Why can't we fly like others are flying? Our country is called the giant of Africa. Unfortunately, that giant is with the feet of clay. We want to strengthen that giant. And that was why Nigerians, especially the youth, in their teeming crowd, they went out to vote somebody they felt could reverse the ugly situation. The person they felt could have it, could cause a turnaround to our economy and make us proud as Nigerians. Now, that process seems to have been truncated now, and people are angry. Yes. Let me hear your voice. Let me hear your view on this. What do you think about it? Put your thought down. Let's see. Let's review and let's discuss it. The INEC. From what we have seen so far, can we say that INEC is really independent? Because it's supposed to be Independent National Electoral Commission. Is our INEC, does that I still have any meaning in the INEC? Yes. Is the INEC for a section of the society or for Nigeria? Is INEC truly independent? Or does it tell lie against itself? Another angle to look at this is that Nigerians are going through serious trauma right now. The problem we always have in that country is the fact that we have no deterrent mechanism. When somebody steals, for instance, he or she doesn't go to jail to serve as deterrent to others. Someone who has caused the whole of Nigeria this great trauma, for instance, if it is found out that he wittingly or unwittingly, one way or the other, has brought these upon us, what will be the penalty for him? What will be the punishment for a man like this? Or just one of those things? There must come a time in our country that people like this must suffer for any crime committed against the land. If it is found out and it's proven that the man INEC chairman deliberately, or any of his aides deliberately rigged, thereby causing Nigeria this great trauma, he or she must suffer for it. Of course, there are penalties in our code, in our legal system. Why can't we activate this thing? Use this opportunity and use this as guinea pigs. Yes, to start, putting our law to test. That is, if they are found out to have committed rigging to deprive one person of his sweat and giving the credit to an undeserved person. If that is the case, some hairs must roll. It is only then that our society will move. Let me hear your thought. Let me hear your thought. Who's there? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Aniti or IT just joined. Yeah, you are welcome. You are welcome, Haiti. You're welcome, Haiti. Welcome to this broadcast. You are on to Nigerian election and its aftermath with Professor Neblos. You're welcome. There are a lot of things we're going to discuss on this program, but we are concentrating on the election, the rigged election. It's like almost everybody now believes that the elections were rigged. Of course, there are perspectives to this rigged election. Some believe that all elections in Nigeria have always been rigged, and that it is those who are that all political parties always rig election, and that it is the person or persons who are outrigged that cry. It's those who are outrigged that cry and they seek justice. That all of them rig, but the one that is outrigged cry. How do you see all this in view of the recently concluded election in Nigeria? What are your views? Okay, thank you. All you said is very true. Okay. Yeah. That all of them rigged, but one outrigged the others. Are we saying that even when they get to court, there wouldn't be evidence of malpractices of other parties who also rigged? Maybe their level of rigging did not, cause them to win. So let's talk, Nigerians, let's talk. This is the moment of truth for us to really tell ourselves the truth. Going forward, what do you think should be done now? Because according to our law, right now as we speak, there is a president-elect. Although many have said, look, this man is not going to be sworn in. Or some have said, no. From what is on ground, from what we have seen, this man did not win ab initio. I wish we have a lawyer here to ask the lawyer, what does the law say in a circumstance like this? Law and public opinion, which one should supersede? If this man is sworn in, legally speaking, because our law recognizes him right now as president-elect, if he's sworn in against public opinion, does he have legitimacy to rule? Or will he be lacking legitimacy? Because the essence of legitimacy here is very important, very pivotal to good governance and peace and justice in the land. If you lack legitimacy, it simply means that those who do not recognize you as their president are not likely to pay allegiance to you. Those who do not recognize you as president are not likely to respect you as their president. They are not likely to obey you as president. So what will that portend for our country? Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about this issue. Or if we say, well, okay, you have been elected, our law recognizes that once somebody is declared winner by INEC, he becomes the president-elect, or as the case may be, now he's sworn in. If he's sworn in, and let's say about 60% or 50%, as the case may be, of the country does not recognize him as president, what happened? What happened? Or how will this be resolved? Is it political resolution or legal resolution? Which way, Nigeria? Which way? Which way? I know we will not forget in a hurry that we have gone through some horrendous situation in our country, particularly some unpleasant or wholesome situations that have been foisted down our throat by the APC administration. We must not forget this. That we have not had an administration that is so myopic, an administration that is so tribalistic and nepotistic, an administration that whose main policy was just hit or miss without plan, so rudderless. We've never had it so bad. We've never had it so bad. An administration that does not even have confidence in his people. We've not had it so bad. Look at the humongous debt they have acquired now. An administration where the aides of a president will be thieving, stealing right, left, and center, and the president, the saint, the incorruptible president, we look the other way as if nothing is happening, and his aides are stealing, busy stealing, evidence of stealing abound. Yet the president will say nothing. We've never had it so bad. That teller said the truth. We've never had it so bad. Look at the level of our money. Look at the ratio of exchange. We've never had it so bad. Look at unemployment ratio. The percentage of unemployment now. We've never had it so bad. Yes, insecurity, don't even go there. We've never had it so bad. So people are angry, legitimately angry. And they have the right to be angry. Yes. So, like I said earlier on, it was that anger that fueled the process of that revolutionary voting that we now see. But because the administration did not see it coming, they didn't see it coming. They didn't see it coming. And now it has come. To them it's like a dream. But to those who went to vote, they voted on purpose. It was deliberate. Yes. Now that they've been robbed of this expectation and aspiration, tell me where to go, Nigerians. We are all in it together. So what do we do? Where do we go from here? Okay. I personally don't think all parties rig. Okay. You personally don't think that all parties rig. Okay. But not everybody will agree with you on that. Because if you put that argument, some people will show you evidence of rigging. Okay? But you're entitled to that opinion. Joseph, okay, you've not said anything. Okay, let me wave at you. You're welcome. Joseph, welcome. Okay. Well, I'm sorry if I don't really get your name right, because some of you wrote your link and all, your pet name and all that. Some of you just wrote your email address and all that. So please, but I recognize all of you. You are welcome to this broadcast. We are discussing Nigerians' election and its aftermath. The aftermath. One thing I also see very clearly in this election was the fact that because people are so bent on voting Labour Party, they saw Labour Party as the only hope. Rightly so. So, they wanted Obi by all means, okay? And so, when they saw the ballot box after thumbprinting Obi, they now went ahead and thumbprinting all the LP, whether those who are in the House of Representatives or what have you, whether they are known or unknown, whether they are capable or incapable, look, they don't just care. LP. Right now, so many underdogs have been elected into the federal house who are going to represent them, even though they don't know their pedigree. They don't even know some of them, because you know what it is now. They hated APC so much. They hated PDP so much. They don't even want to hear or see any other party except LP, which to them have the hope, have the promise of better life for them. So these are lessons to learn from this election. Never again will the ruling party ever think that without them there will be no life. That they have the key to everything. They denigrated every other person, demean every other person, thinking that, well, since we are in power today, nothing can shake us. These are the things that we observe in this election. And if we bring the phenomenon of Lagos into the whole discourse, it makes it more interesting. Because who would have thought that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will lose Lagos? Talk to me. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Okay, let me put it this way. If the administration of Lagos had managed the NSAS palaver better, would this have happened? Yes. If during the NSAS, the management of Lagos, the government of Lagos, and even BAT himself had come out to condemn what happened and went further to inaugurate a judicial system that will bring to book all the culprits. If that had happened, would there be a difference in the way people voted in Lagos? Talk to me, let's talk. To the extent that people see whatever Sanwo-Olu is doing now as an afterthought, medicine after death. Do you see it that way too? This is the issue we are talking about today. The aftermath of the Nigerian election. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Because even before now, we all knew that this election was going to be a make or mar election. That is, either we got it right on that 25th or we forever lose it. Yes. So what's going to happen right now? What's going to happen right now? The way things stand now, what do you think will happen? Let me hear your view. Let me hear your view. Let me hear your view. What do you think will happen? Because there are many who still believe that when BAT said that he was going to continue the legacy of Buhari, that was a no-no to so many people. What is the legacy of Buhari? Legacy of carrying innocent children captive, many of whom are still in captivity right now with the Boko Haram. Is that a legacy? Legacy of nepotism, appointing neophytes and inexperienced individuals based on where they come from, based on family ties and consanguineal relationship. Is it the legacy of thievery, where Accountant General will steal the money that is enough to set up a whole country? I mean, to set up, to even pay, money that was equal to some West African annual budget. One person to have stolen it, and up to today, nothing is happening to him. That's a legacy. Which legacy? Is it a legacy of religious intolerance? What legacy? Legacy of joblessness? I ask you, what legacy? Legacy of us going on strike for more than half a year? What legacy? What legacy are you going to follow? So, if all the things that Buhari did in office were part of the manifesto and policy of APC, and you are going to follow it, then what are we talking about? Are you saying that we are going to wait for this or stay with this for the next 4 years? Let's just say 4 years being the first tranche. What legacy? Nigerians, please talk. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? So what do you suggest for us to have a free and fair election in the future? What do you think should be taken into account? But I would have loved us to exhaust what is to be done right now in our situation right now that we find ourselves. What do we do to get out of this situation so that Nigerians will heap a sigh of relief? Because truth be told, nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. My fear always is, no matter what happens, it's only the poor, the masses that bear the brunt. It is the masses who don't have enough money at home to buy food. It's the same masses who cannot go out if there is riot or if there is problem on the street. It's the same masses whose children cannot go to school. These are the hungry. They would obviously have no job. Even the little they get, that they are underpaid, they can't even go there if there is problem on the street. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Because I heard that certain individuals are saying that, oh, we will protest. Let's hit the street. Let's do this. Let's do that. Of course, it is normal. In normal setting, in Senate climes, you protest, you demonstrate to show your grievances to government, that you are not in tandem with what is happening, that you don't like what you are getting, that you are being deprived of this, that injustice has been meted out to you, that you are hurting. These are ways to actually ventilate this thing to governments that listen, governments that respect human feeling, governments with human face, government that respect people's rights, government that respect people's life, that value people's life. The best way is that way of protest and demonstration, not riot. Mind you, not riot. Demonstration, protest, they are quite different from rioting. The first two don't go with destruction of property and killing and all that. No, it doesn't go with looting. You may demonstrate using placard and all that. You may protest going from one place to the other, just drawing the attention of government to the injustice that have been meted out to you, not riot. Because even when we riot, let's even talk about riot now. Who pays the price of riot? Apart from those who will be killed. The property destroyed. The same people you are protesting against, they are still in custody of your money. It is the money that they should have, in good conscience, invested in education, invested in good road, invested in better infrastructural facilities for you. They will use that money, hype it again. You know what they do? They will inflate the contract again to repair what you damage. Where does that leave you? That's double jeopardy for the hungry, double jeopardy for the deprived. So don't let us go the riot way at all. It's a no-no. Let's talk about protest and demonstration. Knowing the kind of people we have in the Nigerian police, knowing them, judging from antecedent and their pedigree, they may have changed, but we know who they were. If they have not changed, you know what they are capable of doing. And whoever is shot, his or her has finished. Trust your government, no compensation, not even an acknowledgement to the bereaved family. Our country, our government, they are not used to that. They are used to impunity. They are used to self-centeredness. If that thing does not happen to the son of a minister or somebody important in the society, it's like no human being has lost his life. They don't even know whether people exist. They don't know how they live. That is the government we've been having all this while. And that is why we must rectify, we must address this situation. We have to. Yes. Because our life have no meaning to this government at all. At all. That's why you see community-sponsored students who have been sponsored by the community, for instance, to go and read medicine for 7 years. Read engineering, architecture. 7 years, 6 years, as the case may be. After all this, no job, nothing. Now, when we even say no job, and people say, okay, these days nobody looks for government job again. People should be able to provide employment for themselves. People should be creative and all that. Come on. To me, that statement is buncombe. Senseless to me. Yes. I'll tell you some personal testimony now. It is buncombe because an average student who has just graduated that you are talking about that you should go and do this, go and do that. He wants to start ordinary barber shop as a graduate. He discovers that he has to provide light for himself. Somebody who does not have money to even rent a shop, he now discovers that he has to buy a generator to power his shop at all times. He has to do burglary to protect that same generator. What are we talking about? Burglary to protect generators so that it will not be stolen by people who are hungry. So by the time a poor man who borrows money, maybe from kinsmen, from friends, acquaintances, by times he uses the money to do all these things, which money will he now invest? Which money will he invest in the real project itself? That is the issue that must be addressed. So how do you expect such a person to break even? How will he break even? That is the question. It sounds incredible what I'm about to tell you. I saw Peter Obi shedding tears because he came across a lady who graduated and was looking for, I think, about 25,000 naira. 25,000 naira, yes, or about that, or 20,000 naira to set up shop and set up her baking business. She couldn't raise it. That drew tears from Peter Obi. When I saw that video, I shed tears too. I didn't shed tears because Peter Obi shed tears. After all, Peter Obi is a politician. I shed tears because it resonated with my personal story. When I finished my master's in 1995, a master's degree in 1995, no job. In fact, that was when I finished my second master's degree. I search everywhere, no job. Okay. And I said, okay, no problem, since no job for me anywhere, as in nowhere. Let me start trading. I was really serious. I wanted to start trading. All I needed was just 5,000 naira in 1995. 5,000, mark my word, 5,000 naira. What would I do with such a meager amount of money? I wanted to be traveling from Lagos to the interior of the farm settlement, to be bringing gari and beans, to be supplying to those who operated a kiosk and all that in Lagos, so that whatever profit I got from the exercise, I will now apply it back again, and so that I will start a career in that. 5,000 naira I couldn't raise after my master's degree. So when somebody says, the graduate, let them go and do that. Look, it's not everybody that can raise such money. Not everybody. And this is a government that does not give any allowance for anybody to do anything. In other climes, you have unemployment allowance. Even those who are capable of working, who are qualified to work, they refuse to work because government provides for them. We have oil that is able to even pay every Nigerian some amount of money on a regular basis. But because of thievery and all this lack of transparency, people just steal with impunity and nobody talks about. Nobody talks. That is the truth. Individuals have stolen our collective wealth, and yet nobody is saying anything. And now the youth are now suffering. And you say the youth should not be angry? You say the youth should not be angry? You have not done anything as palliative, even common palliative of COVID. Oh my goodness. When I heard that, sometimes when you cannot cry, you just smile. That even palliative for COVID, people stole it and used it for souvenir. That leads me to another topic that we may not be able to talk about today. Talking about your representative at the National Assembly and the senators. These are the real problem Nigeria has. Until we deal with those people, until we deal with them, oh my goodness. Even if Obi is elected, those are the characters that will frustrate Obi. I know what I'm talking about. Those are the characters that will frustrate Obi completely and make Obi compromise to do their own bidding. But that's a topic for another day. We are talking about the rigged election now, the way forward. What do we do, Nigeria? Let me hear your opinion, please. Richard Domain, let's hear you. Let's hear something from you. This is an interesting thing, even for those who are abroad, the diasporans. We have brethren, we have brothers and sisters, we have parents that are still suffering over there. We have to provide solution to this, because things must not continue like this forever. No. Even those who are abroad, I tell you, many who are abroad today, they yearn to go back home. It's not even their desire to stay abroad. They want to go home. Like I said earlier on, they want to go, but they want to meet a home. They want to meet a country that cares about them. They want to meet a country that is productive. They want to meet a country that is functional. They want to meet responsible and responsive government. These are the things they are used to where they are now. That's what they want to meet. For how long do we continue to just isolate ourselves and be behaving like beasts? The Caucasian will look at you as if you don't have say, you don't have common sense, until you talk, until you make, some outstanding, maybe you are delivering a paper or you are teaching in a class, and before they know that, This is a black guy and he had this intelligence. They begin to wonder, how come your country is like that? Your country has people like you and yet it's like that? We confront this almost every time. Because mere looking at you, their first sight at you is like, maybe it's just one of those, until they hear you talk, until they know what you have here, before they begin to wonder, how come? And it is this government that has turned us into this nonsense. There must be a solution. We are more than this. Nigeria, you are greater than this. Come on, we must actualize that potential that nature has bequeathed to us. Look at all the mineral resources in this whole wide world. We have all. Countries that do not even have 1/4 of what we have. Like I said earlier on, look, they are flying. And we are still crawling. We are still crawling. There must be a solution to this. And it is now. It is now. We must not defer this again. For so long we have deferred it. You know, sometimes when some of us talk about restructuring, because if the country has been restructured before now, obviously this problem will not have arisen. When some of us talk about restructuring, they tell us, no, there is something is in motion right now. Election is in motion now. Let's finish the election. After the election, we can now talk about restructuring. It has been like that for the past 20-25 years. Oh, let's finish the election. Yeah, we finished so many elections. So when the elected people get there, they forget everything about restructuring. Now when things go bad, like it is right now, people now suddenly remember, oh no, somebody has just been sworn in. Let's give him an opportunity. Let's see what he will do. He will get there. He will waste another 8 years. And people will be agitating for, and nobody to attend to it. And we are just dancing around with perpetual motion, like Baba's chair, perpetual motion without movement. That's how Nigeria has been since I was young and I'm growing in the system. It has always been like that. We've always had government that will tell you all the time to be tightening your belt, tighten your belt, tighten your belt. And they don't even have stomach to even put belt because everything is protruded. They've eaten all our money. They don't even have stomach to put their belt anymore. But we have continued to tighten our belt. Some of us don't even have waist to tie the belt again because it has disappeared out of hunger and frustration. And yet, you still tell us to continue to tighten our belt in the midst of plenty. Not anymore. Yeah, Richard Domain, thank you. You said sent a request to be in your live video. Okay. Richard, you're live. Talk to me. Or talk to us. Hello. Yeah, can we hear your view, please? Nigeria at Crossroads. Which way, Nigeria? Which way to go? We have wasted so much time. countries that became independent the same time with us. Look at where they are today. Look at us. Which way to go? And yes, some people believe that they are the owners of that country. It is only when they concede presidency or leadership to any other group that that group will have entitlement to it. If they disagree, the country stagnates. It has always been like that. Should it continue that way? Don't we all have a stake in this country? Talk to me. They share your life. Consult time. Okay. You're welcome to the live podcast. Remember, we're still discussing Nigeria at Crossroads, Nigeria election and its aftermath. Which way to go, Nigeria? You are at Crossroads now. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Are we waiting till those who are litigating until they get through with the court proceeding? Or is there any issue, in the interim that we can address pending the time the case will go to court? Even if the case goes to court, ladies and gentlemen, do you have confidence in the Nigerian legal system? Do we still have justice in the land? Talk to us. Let's ruminate over these issues. Nigeria must work again. That country must work. Because we are even ashamed. We are seriously ashamed when our name, when the country, our country's name is associated with all sort of negativity. All the time, we are ashamed that we are not making progress. We can't prove to our traducers anymore. We can't prove to those who are shaming us that things are really moving, that things are looking up in our country. Because it is one thing for us to begin to tell them that things are looking up. It's another thing for them to be watching live what is happening in our capitals. So how do we justify that? They hear that a particular minister had just stolen some amount of money that is enough to pay all professors in the land for 1 year. One person has swallowed it. They heard again that snakes are swallowing money in my country, that cockroaches are eating money in my country, and these are the money that is meant to pay teachers' salary, to pay workers. The cockroaches are eating them. They hear all these things. They wonder what kind of human beings we are. All this are happening under Buhari's regime. I never heard it before. That snakes swallow money, and once you are able to tell that lie that snake are swallowing money, then they leave you to go and enjoy that money. Nothing is heard about it again. So another one was, okay, cockroaches are, come on. Wake up, Nigeria. So this is the time to really wake up so that we don't hear such incidences again. When mosquito will begin to, carry Ghana must go, to the world unknown. Let's address ourselves. This is the time. The youth The youth must live their life to the fullest in that country. Yes, many of them who jackpot, they jackpot to another country to suffer. Needless suffering. Needless suffering. A lawyer, a medical doctor, an architect, somebody with a first-class degree who is rendered irrelevant in his own country. He comes abroad to come and be doing many jobs. Many jobs. No, not anymore. Even up to 1980s here, going abroad was not attractive at all because our naira to dollar was at par. What would you go to Britain to do? What would you travel to America to go and do except to just visit and quickly rush back home? Now people will go and visit, they refuse to go back again because you have destroyed that country. No, we have to come back to the days of yore, to the pristine period when Nigeria was proud to be a Nigeria, when our money meant something. We must get it right. And the way of getting it right is this, electoral revolution that we just embarked on recently, that we voted somebody with fair who actually guarantee us good life. And yet, no. Nigerians, talk to me. Let's talk. This is our time. This is our time. Yeah. Sean Fleming. Okay. Thank you for joining. Okay. How do you see the issue on ground? Should we fold our arms and wait for the Nigerian government to do whatever they like? Or do we set an agenda for them? Yes. Should we allow things to continue the way it has always been? Do we allow business as usual, to allow the status quo to remain ante? Or should we set agenda henceforward that this is how we want to be recognized, this is how we want to be reckoned with, no longer as non-entities, but people who are capable of making contribution, not the youth that are lazy, like an idle mouth once described our youth, that the youth are lazy. What job did you give them that they failed to implement? What enabling environment did you give them in spite of the fact that they don't have job? What enabling environment did you give them that they refuse to establish their own companies and prosper in it? Saying Nigerian youth are lazy. We've enjoyed so much in that country in the hands of rudderless and wayward leadership. Talk to me. Who is this? Oh, okay, you're just joining. You're welcome. Your contribution is appreciated, please. Talk to me. How do we go forward from this precipice we find ourselves in Nigeria? We're at crossroads right now. Yes. Yes. Many say the person that had been declared winner as president-elect, as BAT, was not the person they voted for. That's the issue at stake now. They said he's not the one they voted for. And the implication of that is grave. It means that if the system goes ahead and swaying him, it simply means that he will lack legitimacy. Yes, he will lack legitimacy. If he lacks legitimacy, it simply means that people will not give him allegiance. And if he does not get the allegiance of the people, the government, the system will be ungovernable. If the country continues to be ungovernable, how do we realize our potential? These are issues at stake. Let's talk. So where do we go from here? Do we wait for court to adjudicate and come out with their findings? Or do we have any plan in the interim? These are issues. Talk to me. Ladies and gentlemen, we have less than 30 minutes on this podcast, and I would like to hear or to see your comment on which way do you want us to go right now. Your opinion matters a lot. Don't keep it to yourself. No, do not keep it to yourself. Ventilate it. Let's ruminate over it. Whatever position you take here, whatever suggestion you make here, don't you worry. We have a way of processing this and sending it to those who matter, those who can actually run with your vision. So, as for that country of ours, Nigeria, we must realize our potentials. We are greater than we are made to believe. We have more than what it takes to make a modern country. Yes. We don't have to be, midget. We are giant. Let's be truly giant. Let's be truly giant. Let's set good example to other African countries. Nature has placed us as head. Nature has made us giant. Our country is strategically positioned to take the leadership position of Africa. How come that in spite of all that we have, that we are still where we are today? That in this 21st century, we are still talking about electricity not being available. Without electricity, how can any modern day country function? I just can't imagine that is still the issue we are battling with up till now. Electricity. Those who import generators and their generating business is prospering, thereby hindering and hampering the process of our electrification and industrialization. We know them. In fact, some of them wanted to come as president so that they can finish that country completely. So why can't we take radical decision to stop all the importation of all these things, to be able to fix our light, to fix our electricity? Nigerians, let's talk about these issues. We have to move beyond this pedestal. For so long, we talked about the same problem year out. No solution. No. We are not animals. We are human beings. We are rational human beings. It must not be business as usual. That's my contention. It should not be. A time must come that the people will realize that they've been going in the wrong direction all this while. At the moment they realize it, they turn around. They face another direction, because it's only a fool, a stupid stupid idiot, or even let's say a madman, will be repeating the same process over and over, hoping to get different results from what he or she has been getting. And you have not changed strategy. The same method, come on, you can't get better results. We have to change, and the time to change is now. The time for urgency is now, because all the countries around us are moving forward. It's only our country that is stagnating right now. That is because of the people who have held us bound with all these negativities. And Nigerians now went out to the poll. I said, enough of this. Enough of this. And somebody is saying that all that is just for fun. That's what I said we should discuss. Yes. There's no Edurado anywhere. Even those who are running away, they are not satisfied where they are. Home is home. They are not satisfied where they are. If you want to hear the truth, they are yearning to come back home to make their own contribution and be relevant in the system. But the system is suffocating the way it is now, suffocating and in fact destructive. We need to fix it. We need to fix it. We need to fix it. Talk to me, Nigerians. Let's talk. We have barely 20 minutes or less than. What advice do you have for Peter Obi right now? Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk. What advice do you have for the Nigerian youth right now? Nigerians, talk. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow compatriots, what we've been discussing for the past 1.5 hours is the fact that an election was conducted in Nigeria, the most populous Black African country. It was conducted on the 25th of February 2023. Election, presidential election, an election to the House of Representatives. to the National Assembly. Prior to that election, a whole lot of things have been happening in Nigeria. And let me just put it this way, Nigeria was not functioning prior to the election. People are yearning for a change. People are yearning for something that will give them lifeline, because they were already fed up. They have been pushed to the precipice. So they wanted a change. And they had a man who symbolized that change in Peter Obi. Even though this same Peter Obi had been an underdog, somebody, the power that be and all the opposition said, look, he will amount to nothing, because in the first place, they said he had no structure and that he is not popular. He's only popular on internet and all this Twitter and all those things, but he's not on ground. They said all kind of things, but the man persevered. He focused his attention on the youth, and the youth actually took up the gauntlet, campaigned for him every nook and cranny. Internet was awash with obedient. And the aftermath of this whole thing was the fact that Obi that presidency or candidacy was actually approved by the youth. They voted for him en masse. And now, in most of the results that have been counted, it was discovered that Obi that actually won more than other people who thought that they were on ground. And that is the situation now that is happening. Because of that, the people say he must be sworn in based on the election results. But another person has been declared winner. That's the bone of contention now, that I now ask Nigerians, what do you think should be done so that Nigeria can move forward? We will definitely continue on this conversation in our next episode. Till I come away again, this is Professor Nemplos saying bye for now. Catch you later. Thank you for participating today. God bless.